and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Alicia Martinez, Director of Marketing and Corporate Communication for MTA, Metropolitan Transportation Authority. That's a mouthful. I'll say MTA.
Yes.
Hi, and welcome to be on the show.
Thank you for
I can't
having me.
resist asking you, please don't get mad at me.
Okay.
With Director of Communication, can you do anything to make the announcements more understandable on the trains when they're playing? What is the problem?
No one can do anything about that. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Actually, the newer trains have very clear enunciators. The older trains, it is a little bit of a problem. So as you phase out the older trains and bring in newer ones, it will become clearer and clearer. And of course, the automated announcements are clearer than the spoken announcements by the conductors.
But even in the state, it's so frustrating when you're wondering where the train is and you can't, and they're talking to you, you don't even understand where it is.
I know. Well, that depends largely on how articulate the conductor is, and that's a problem.
Anyway, we're putting that aside, and we're going on to this.
Okay.
You've just for starters. You are a professor. You were a professor of English. You have your doctorate in English, and you are working for a mass transit corporation. Mm-hmm. Was it your idea? And we're now going to talk about the bringing of something very elitist to the subways, poetry. You had 15 years of what, motions and poetry?
Poetry in motion,
yeah. Whose idea was that?
Poetry in motion actually was not my idea. It was a program that started in London on the London Underground. And people in the industry learned about it, and the people from New York went over there and, got the program and brought it back. And there it was called Poems in the Underground, I think. And here they called it Poetry in Motion. I was not involved at all at the time because I just started at the MTA. It was only about 7 or 8 years later that I thought that I would like to be involved, and got involved, and we ran it through to the 15th anniversary.
Yeah. So, who funded this? Barnes and Noble's printed them.
In the beginning, New York City Transit paid the printing costs, and after a while that became impossible for them. And so they sought a sponsor, and they got Barnes & Noble, which was, for the next 10 years or so, the sponsor, and is the sponsor of our new program, Train of Thought.
Right. So tell me something. How was this received? Did you get feedback?
On Train of Thought?
No, on Poetry in Motion.
People...
15 years you did this.
Yes, people liked Poetry in Motion. By and large, you get focused groups of people who find something they like, and they really like it, and that was, I think, tremendous. It was a wonderful thing for the MTA to be able to bring that to people.
It really was. It was a wonderful gift to New Yorkers.
Yeah, and what we would do is we started on our website. We began to put the poem that was up, plus a biography of the poet, plus a bibliography so people could read more if they chose to.
Right.
Were
there some favorites? I printed some and I didn't bring them to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My particular favorites were, I had a number of favorites, but mine were recent, actually. The Tomorrow Speech from Macbeth, which I think some people may find a little dark, but I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And the Yeats, The Second Coming.
Yeah. Oh, the Yeats, The Second Coming. I have to say, I liked very much too.
Good.
Can you read that for us?
Okay.
For our group? Right.
Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity.
Yeah, I want to hold this up.
Okay.
Someone looking up and seeing this on their way to work or on their way home, what are the kind of thoughts that come from something like this, Alicia?
Well, you know, I think that there are...
It's Yeats.
Poetry, like many other disciplines, allows people to access it on a variety of levels. You can read this and just think, wow, those are beautiful words. I don't know what they mean, but they're beautiful words.
Right.
You can, you know, read it and try to analyze what the poet may have been saying, or you may read it and take certain elements of it that seem to apply to your life. And, you know, it's endless, the possibilities with which you may approach poetry.
Right, and of course, and the Macbeth, too. I'm holding the Macbeth up. Right. You read some of Macbeth for us? Can you read from here, or is it too far away?
No, from there is best, actually.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, can you imagine sitting, I mean, you don't expect this. You don't expect to be on a crowded subway and be able to look up and see those beautiful words to read. I myself have noticed, sometimes I look up and somebody is really smiling. And I think they're smiling at some of your stuff, because I look up to see what they're there. They're not smiling at Dr. Zitz or how to take care of your hammer toes or whatever, personal injury lawyers. Yeah, they're getting a smile for their ride. It must make you feel good to do things like that.
Well, it does, although I would like to say that over the last several years, the caliber of ads in the subway system has improved tremendously.
Yes, that's true.
In part because the vendors which we work with to sell the space got brand cars going, where you know a Chevys Regal, for example,
is all over the place.
The entire car,
right?
And so that meant that the individual ones, the Dr. Whoever's, also improved in their quality. And of course MTA has a brand car in that all of the RMTA messages are posted in a single area.
Yeah. What is done with the revenue that comes from all that advertising, Alicia?
The revenue from the advertising goes into the general fund. Right. So it's just used for a variety of purposes.
Right. Yeah. And so after having had this, it's not a brief fling, 15-year fling with poetry, you're now into something called Train of Thought,
right,
which is what, a little... It's science. It's a matter of what science.
Well, it's actually four disciplines.
Okay.
It's selections from great thinkers in science, history, philosophy, and literature, including poetry, but also prose.
Right.
And so it came about because after 15 years, it seemed that it might be time to branch out,
right,
to expose people to more than just one discipline.
Right.
And so I think, we've only put up 2 cards so far. There are 2 coming on August 1st.
This is all the trains? Or is it only certain lines?
It's on all lines, but the MTA has, I think it's 1 in every 4 cars. We don't have every
It's
car.
not every car, but it's every line.
It's every line,
and
yes.
also buses too.
Yes, buses
I saw
too.
it.
Yes,
I saw it.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful give back to your riders. It really is.
Yeah.
So you have with us. It's 4 disciplines. What is the mission of this? It's not to raise money.
No, it's not to raise money.
So what's the core mission?
I think that the MTA, even though some people may not believe this, is really committed to making people's trips on the MTA system better, pleasanter, more comfortable, etc. And
some may feel that there are other ways to do it besides this.
Well, but we
anyway.
do try to keep the trains cleaner, etc.
Yes, I agree.
And putting new equipment
and they're cooler,
yes, and cooler, air
right.
conditioning is very big. And so I think that what we do with this program, as with Poetry in Motion, is to try to give people a little nugget, a bit of knowledge.
So what I want to see what you have with.
Okay.
So this is you have two of these. These are the newest ones.
These are the two that were up, yes, and these are the two that are coming up. Okay,
right.
so the science.
This is science. This is Galileo.
Right. And
the icon. What is the icon?
The icon is, I forgot to remind myself of what the name was. It's a Renaissance contraption for tracking the constellations,
right.
And it does have a name, but I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember it right now.
Yeah. So and that's the whole point of this of this thought.
Well, no. You see that image will be on all of the science pieces.
So this is the icon that will be with all the science.
Right.
And
although you're right in that it applies very nicely to that selection.
It happens to apply to this.
Yes.
Okay. So then this one is E.B. White, and it's about New Yorkers.
Right. And
this would be a good one. This would be a good one for you to read, Alicia.
Okay.
And it's an ancient map.
Okay.
So and this icon will be on
all the history sections.
On all the history sections. Okay. So read this one. It's about
there are roughly 3 New Yorks. There is first the New York of the man or woman who was born there, who takes the city for granted and accepts its size, its turbulence, as natural and inevitable. Second, there is the New York of the commuter, the city that is devoured by locusts each day and spat out each night. Third, there is the New York of the person who was born somewhere else and came here to New York in quest of something. Commuters give the city its tidal restlessness. Natives give it solidity and continuity, but the settlers give it passion.
The settlers give it passion, right? So we have history, and now this one is.
This is a George Eliot that you might like. It says it's from Middlemarch,
right.
And that's a writing set from a Renaissance writing. No, actually, I think it's an 18th century writing set.
Okay.
And one is for the sand, one is for the ink, and you have your candle and your bell.
And this one is literature.
This is literature.
And then the fourth discipline that we have is?
That's philosophy.
And that's philosophy.
And that's John Stuart Mill.
And these are the ones that are coming.
Yes.
Right. Well, all right. We're going to leave our viewers guessing. They're going to have to write an MTA to hear the rest of these. I must tell you, as a commuter, I love the subways. I not only is this a wonderful give back, but I think with all the joking around, I think it's the best bargain in the country is that $2 ride that you can take from. How far away can you go from one end to one end? From the tip of Manhattan
to the tip of
for $2.
The Bronx, right? Exactly.
For $2.
Yes.
And especially now, they are more crowded now, right? With the energy, trains seem more crowded.
Yeah.
They see
ridership is up.
Ridership is up. It was good. Yeah. But what you do is wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth, and this is a way to get your money's worth. I'm Judith West. For more, watch GettingYourMoney'sWorthNYC.com. Thanks for watching.